Hello and welcome into the FanDuel Hurry Up. I'm Maria Marino for Fantasy Sports and Network, and Jim Sannes of Number Fire is on hand to process all that we saw as Week 10 in the NFL is just about entirely behind us. We're going to start things on a positive note and talk about the players whose stock is rising. Firstly, David Johnson of the Cardinals doing finally what we hoped he'd be doing all year, Jim.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it kind of makes sense that they had their bye week last week. Byron Leftwich, their offensive coordinator, finally able to install his system and get them away from Mike McCoy. You can't really expect a guy to change house when he has just a couple of days to do so. But after the bye week, they come out, they go to Kansas City, and they emphasized David Johnson in the passing game, which we had not seen pretty much all year. He had 9 targets in this game, which tied his season high. If we look at the 2 games where Leftwich has been calling plays, Johnson has 18% of the team's targets, which is a really good number. That is one of the better marks for a running back this year. So I think if we can expect that passing game usage to stay there, David Johnson's outlook would be really freaking good down the stretch, even though there are still the same limitations in place for this offense as a whole. The offensive line is not great. The talent around Josh Rosen could be better for sure. But I think that the usage could finally be there for David Johnson. He had 1 deep target in this game, which is the same number he had the entire year before this. He had another target in the red zone. And the thing that I love about David Johnson is that when they score points, it will likely be with Johnson. They have had 29 plays inside the 10-yard line this year, and 19 of those have been either a carry or a target for Johnson. So I think it's trending up well here if he keeps getting work as a receiver for this offense. They're facing the Raiders week 11 at home. I think that is the best matchup that David Johnson has had all year. So to me, his price went up $1,000 on FanDuel from week 10 to week 11. But I think that's justified based on what we saw against the Chiefs, based on this matchup against Oakland. It's a really good spot to go back to David Johnson. So based on what I've seen so far, under Byron Leftwich, David Johnson, the arrow definitely is trending up here.
Out of those 9 targets, David Johnson caught 7 of them. And if you had him in FanDuel in your lineup on Sunday, he would have netted you over 33 fantasy points. Quite a day for David Johnson.